So thanks for attending. So my name's Steve. I'm a learning consultant at Appetite for Business, and I'm going to take us through 6 top tips for Microsoft 365 today. And there is a lot, so like Cheryl says, get your pen and paper ready, but we are only touching the surface, okay? There is so much more to these everyday applications that we have all grown up with, but there's so much more to it. Okay, this is just a taster of what's possible, and to encourage you to, take that self-learning journey and see what else is possible, really. So we've only got an hour, so let's get cracking. Make the most of the chat area, ask questions, and let's see what's coming up out of this session. So what we are going to go through. Number 1, Outlook or Teams. Teams, it's the hot topic of now. Everybody's talking about it. When do we use Outlook? When should we use Teams? Both. It's going to be both. For a certain situation, we have to use a certain application. So I'm going to show two things in Outlook when you use that, and a tip that will blow your mind, hopefully, and when we should be using Teams, and how Teams can really reduce the amount of internal email traffic. And it's all about the visibility. So we'll start off by looking at that. Number 2, you don't have to be a data scientist to excel in Excel. That's what I like to think. I'm not a data scientist, but hopefully I know my way around Excel, and I want you to be as well, because Excel, although it's a great application, and there's a lot of geek inside me that loves Excel, but not everybody uses it every single day, and we forget things if we're not using them time to time. So I'm going to show a couple of real great time savers that if you've forgotten how to do something, the software tries to help. Sometimes I think the software is trying to do myself out of a job as a trainer, because I can show you how to do these things real quick now. Okay, PowerPoint. It's not everybody's favorite thing, doing public speaking, but the industries that we're in, from time to time, we all have to do public speaking. And I'm going to show you a couple of tips there to help make your presentations look more professional and take less time to do it, but also a couple of tips to help make your presentations run more smoothly, look more slick, all the stuff that you can do behind the scenes to pretend as you're flittering in the background. It's like duck treading water, isn't it? You want to make sure on the surface it all goes as smooth as possible, but you've got all these tools that you can do in the background. What else? OneNote, Microsoft OneNote, note-taking will never be the same again. Never be the same again. With this electronic notebook, we don't have to purchase notebooks. Okay, I know everybody loves their stationery, but you can still buy other stationery. But notebooks, we don't have to carry around with us, lose them. And let's face it, unless we're really meticulous with how we organize our notebook with dates, sometimes it's hard to find information without flipping through all the pages. And if we've not got that paper notebook, we could say we're helping to save the environment as well. I could argue. Number 5, creating documents is easy. Take our word for it. I really like working on documents, creating them, editing them, formatting them. I really enjoy that. It's something I like doing. I've got a bad habit of when people send me documents to just read, I'll end up fixing the formatting and doing all that kind of thing. Okay, I love doing it until somebody else starts editing my document who doesn't really know how Word works and how simple it can be. So yeah, a couple of tips on Word as well. And finally, OneDrive is all we need. OneDrive, Microsoft's cloud storage area for your business working files, okay? Private, just to you, but you can share it. And it really eliminates the need to carry around all these USB sticks that we used to, okay? We can access it anytime, any place, anywhere. I think that's how you say it, or is that the Martini advert? Not quite sure. Okay, but OneDrive will finish off with that. Perfect, so enough talking. Okay, enough talking from me. Let's see the good stuff. Let's see these tips in action. So let me just minimize that right here. Okay, nice tidy desktop. Okay, always advisable to have a nice tidy desktop. What I'm going to look at first is Outlook. I'm going to bring over Outlook here onto the screen. I used to work to a system called Achieving Inbox Zero, where my goal was to achieve zero emails in my inbox at the end of every day. Okay, quick question for you. If you know how many emails you've got in your inbox right now, pop it in chat. Okay, let's play the numbers game. You know, I'm not going to go into this, but I used to use a system called the 4D principle to achieve that. 40, 82, 10, bingo. Okay, doesn't matter. I've obviously fell by the wayside because I've got over 2,300. Wow, somebody just said 92,000. Okay, I don't know how that makes me feel just yet. But either way, even if you did have 92,000 in your inbox, the question here is, how do you search for email? Okay, may seem like a funny question because we know we've got the search bar up here. But here's a thing. Outlook is a tool you use every single day. Okay. If you knew this, fine. Let's carry on and see. Of course, we would go to the search box. Maybe we would just type in somebody's name, a keyword, and hit search. Yeah, it's given me results here, over 249, because it's looking for wherever that name appears in the email, from, to, body, subject, wherever. You could argue that I could then sort by, from, but you know, why go that extra step? Here's how we should be using search. This is the smartest way to use search. And I still speak to people who are, you know, living in Outlook, managing calendars, and still don't know this little thing here. So it amazes people. So let's hope it can amaze you. Yeah, still use the search box. However, look at all these things that have popped up. I want to refine it. So now I'm going to add a few options, do it slightly differently. So click from, say it's from Cheryl. And then I know it's got a subject that contains the word training. And I know the one I'm looking for has an attachment. 11 results right there. All from Cheryl, all with an attachment, and all with the word training in the subject. There, it's right there. And it didn't take me any time whatsoever. And I only used 3. You can see there is more, okay? If you work across shared mailboxes, shared accounts, change the scope to search here as well. Okay, so that's the way that we should be searching. And that's not new, by the way. I remember when I was first putting a course together, similar to this, you know, 10 years ago, I asked a group of PAs to come along and see what they thought, and they couldn't believe it was there. So 10 years that's been around. Does it get a bit better than that? You know, I always like to try and find the best in everything. So it does. If I want to do that same search in a couple of days' time, although it was easy for me to do there, I can go back to search. It remembers up to 10 recent searches, like so. Don't even have to do it. Bang. Okay, so that's search. A lot of people say to me, you know, they go back to their desk and they say, oh, Steve, you told lies. I don't see that search tools popping up there. It doesn't until you click in the search box. So disclaimer there, just to say I'm not telling you things that don't exist. You have to click in the search box. Perfect. So now we know the smart way to search. Let's talk now, before we move on to Teams, let's talk about external contacts. Okay, how do you manage external contacts? Because we all know that we can go to the address book here and find all our internal contacts, all people from within our company. You know, we know that. But for somebody external, be honest, do you use the contacts area down here? Okay. A lot of us don't, because when we go to new contact, it's a form to fill in. And we don't like filling in forms at the best of times, even though it's not all required. We just don't like filling in forms. Well, I certainly don't. But we need to keep our external contacts. Perhaps for external contacts, you just rely on the fact that when you start a new email, that it'll just pop up in here, okay? That it'll just pop up in here. Nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong. Word of advice, the file that holds those suggested contacts, if you get a new laptop and all your information gets copied across, that file might not get copied across, might not. And anyway, it's not the best way to rely on external contacts. The best way is, of course, the contacts or the people area. But we're too lazy to fill in a form. So here, I've got an email from Michael Strawbridge from the LPI. I want to add him as an external contact. Too lazy to fill in a form, but, okay, wait for it. I'm not too lazy to drag and drop. Drag onto the people button. Okay, starts to populate all the information, puts the email in the notes area. And hopefully this person from the LPI includes his signature in the email. So that means it has, good. I could take the postcode or address, drag it, highlight, drag it over here. Okay, if he'd shared his phone number with me, I could highlight it, drag it over here. Website, highlight, drag over. And as simple as that, save. Full contact in my contacts, always and forever. Okay, even if anything happens to my laptop, it's now part of my mailbox. Maybe you do use that, external contacts, but the drag and drop functionality, use that for other stuff as well. Maybe I want to set up an appointment with this Michael Strawbridge. So I could then drag the email onto the calendar. And he says to me, okay, can you set up that appointment for 3 weeks today? You know, I'm rubbish with counting across calendars, so I can just type 3 weeks today. And I don't even have to know what day of the week it is, okay? Because it just recognizes it there. Okay, it recognizes natural language, just in case you are looking forward to Christmas this year. It even recognizes holiday dates. Okay, so try it. Okay, and you can drag and drop into tasks as well. Okay, so that's a couple of things on Outlook. Outlook's always going to be around, okay? But how can we use Teams to minimize the amount of internal email traffic we get? And how can it help us? Well, Teams is a whole application in itself, and I just want to really briefly introduce this. So let's say I've got a team. We're all working together in an office move project, and me and my colleagues are working together to deliver training. Okay, that's the channel that I'm working in. Instead of going to email and sending emails to my team, which might be missed by people, and some people might not be copied in this posts area of Teams, here's all the conversations happening. Okay, visible, transparent, new people can get up to speed all the time. Okay, and without going into too much detail, a big benefit of having conversations in the Teams area, you can mention people. So I could ask somebody a question, mention them, they would be notified, okay, but the conversation is visible for everybody to have. Okay, why is that good? So that everybody in the team can see this conversation has happened. I might see this and say, oh, I can help with that. Whereas had it just been emails between me and Jess, it would have gone unnoticed, and we could have been working away, squirreling away on something that, because it's now in Teams, they can help with. So that's really quickly only one of the benefits of Teams. Plus, you can give people praise. You know, who doesn't want a unicorn with a rainbow mane to say they've done a good job? I certainly do. Okay, so Teams is the application that everybody really is getting behind right now, and it's going to become even more popular. Okay, so that's Outlook and Teams, when to use one as opposed to the other, and a couple of tips on Outlook. Let's now move to Excel. Okay, so I'm going to open a file here. Whether you love Excel or hate Excel, you're going to hopefully really like these tips in here as well. Okay, so first one, maybe you've got a list of something, an export from another system. In this case, I've got a list of people's names and personal details. Okay, they are made up, obviously. But it's not always in the format that I want it in. In this case, it's not. I would much rather have, instead of having the full name in one column, I want it, I want it first name and second name. Okay, if you know Excel and you wanted to do this, hopefully you know there's text to columns feature. You might say, okay, I'll look at some of the text formulas. But if you're not, you maybe don't know to go looking. And I'd never recommend trying to do this the long way, because I always think, there must be a quick way. And here's where Excel tries to help. Because if I did try and do it the long way and start typing, it stops me here and says, whoa, Steve, that's going to take you far too long. Here's what I think I want you to do. And it is. It's predicted a pattern. So I just press enter, done. Okay, I'll do it again, just because I love it. Okay, predicts what I'm trying to do. It's always worthwhile checking just to make sure. Let's try another one. Okay, that's good that that's happened, because I also, if it doesn't predict it, I also want to show you where it is on the ribbon and what it's called. Okay, it's from the data tab. It's called flash fill. Okay, it's very much like fill, but it's flasher. Okay, I just press it here and it does it. So if you've missed that auto predict, you can still do it. And maybe I want to have it still full name, but in a different order. Why waste all this time when I could just use flash fill? Done. Easy as that. Normally, when I show people this, it's usually 2 weeks too late. They've had to do something very similar and they've spent far too long trying to figure it out. Okay, flash fill. Next up, in the results worksheet here, maybe you're not sure how to present your data. Maybe you can't remember how to do charts, and formulas and functions aren't your thing, let's say. But you've been asked to take this data set and present it better, rather than just names and numbers. So what I'm going to do here, as long as you know how to select your data, look for these tags that pop up. You'll see these popping up across all Office applications. And I might be wrong, but most people just think, oh, what is that? It's getting in the way of my cell or word. Okay, always click on it, because here it's going to give me quick analysis of my data. Maybe I can't remember how to do conditional formatting, but what would it look like with some conditional formatting? A color scale from lowest to highest, top 10%, just like that. What type of charts would look good? That one, that one. Okay, I just get to preview them and pick them. If I'm not a numbers person or a formulas and functions person, but I need some totals, I go to totals and I've got all these. Okay, so that's, like I said earlier, that's where I'm kind of doing myself out of a job here by showing you how simple it is. But it's all these new features that keep coming that are just fantastic. Okay, so that's using flash fill first of all, and the quick data analysis. Okay, so we've got that in there. Something that a lot of people are finding really useful just now is if you have data that's a specific type, i.e., let's say I had countries in here. And if I just put in 3 countries. Okay, if I quickly format that as a table, first of all, maybe you've been asked to provide more information about these countries. And what I'm meaning here, if I tell Excel that this data is of a specific type, i.e. it's geographical here, tell Excel that this data is geography. Why? Well, now, if I need to know any information about these countries, I'll just do that. Okay, even goes down to so much, national anthem. Why I would ever need that, but it's great that I've got it, largest city. It's instead of us having to go to Google, search, find, put in, and then it might be out of date. Whereas this refreshes from Microsoft's data servers all the time. The other one there, I'm not going to show, but if you've got the stock ID of a company, you can put it in and you can get the headquarters, number of employees, everything like that, as long as you tell it it's of a specific type. Okay, that's a couple of things in Excel. And like I say, I keep saying, there's so much more. It's improving all the time. And then when you think about the fact that all these applications, as part of Microsoft 365, now have a mobile app, okay? The Excel mobile app has a camera built into it as well. And you might be wondering why. Well, I'm not going to tell you just yet, okay? PowerPoint. Moving on to PowerPoint. So I'm going to put up a slide up here. Okay, here's a slide. Hopefully, you're thinking, that's a terrible slide. You know, it's the worst slide ever. It's too much text. It's just bullet points. It's black and white, very boring. Yeah, absolutely. This slide is terrible. Let's see what we can do with this. Maybe we've been given this slide and we've been told, you know, we can't reduce the amount of text on it. That's, you know, some people just love their text. So we're not allowed to change the amount of text. That's the messages we want to get across. But we need to improve it so it's more visual, more in keeping with a brand, maybe some shapes, graphical, you know, and spruce it up a bit. Question for you then. How long would you spend making that slide look a little bit more presentable? Okay, how long would it take? Put in the chat how long you would spend on it. "20 minutes? An hour?" An hour. I'm surprised by that one. Hand it to someone else. Yeah. Okay. Well, here I'm feeling brave here. I don't know why. Give me a challenge. How many clicks in a mouse do you think it can take me to change that slide to look better than it is just now? You know, it's not going to be Graphic Awards winning prize of the year. 4, 2. Okay, I'm not that brave. Okay, let's find out. Let's find out. A couple of 5s in there. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is right-click anywhere on the area. I'm going to use, I'm not clicking, I'm just moving up to this thing here called Convert to Smart Art. And then I can just pick and choose any of these built-in diagrams, okay? Some will work better than others, just because of the amount of text. So I've still not clicked, so it's still just one click for whoever's counting, okay? I want to pick this one, let's say, the second one. So I click on that one, 2 clicks. Then I go up and say, okay, I maybe want to use different colors, so that's 3 clicks. And then I want to introduce some depth. So I think that was 4, not entirely sure. So that's how easy it is. And I know it's not great, but it's better than it was for sure. And I can change it at any time. You know, some of the new ones are quite good as well. You know, things like that, simple. What? That's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so if somebody presents you with a slide like this and says it's taken them, you know, all morning to do, they're either wasting their time or telling lies, okay? So it shouldn't take that long, and I can do it. So it's using that feature called Smart Art. And I always have to watch how I say that. Make sure I say the T, Smart Art, and never say the plural, okay? Just don't. So, and you can use it from scratch as well. If I put in a new slide, let's say there, if I don't have existing content, I can create a new Smart Art graphic. Quite often, we're asked to create org charts, you know, for organizations or team. And too often, people want to go off and get Visio, you know, and it costs extra. You don't need it because I can create a hierarchy chart. Start off basic. I like to start off basic and put it in CEO. You know, as you can see there, it's adjusting as I'm doing it. There's no need to, you know, manually do it. You get the idea. I can add in extra shapes. And then I decide, that's just square. That's boring. How does it look like that? Like that. Images can be inserted without squashing and stretching people's faces. You know, if I just go from a file, See if I've got any on my desktop. Oh, there's me. Oh dear, I'm the CEO. That's a worry for that company. But you see how easy that is. And I'm not squashed, I'm not stretched, anything in there. So simple as that. And I can change it anytime. Okay, question I'm just noticing in chat. Yeah, I'm using a PC, but all these features are available on Mac because it will be the Office version, the Mac version of Office. So it's not like it's a separate application. So yeah, I do have a Mac at home and everything works the same there. Okay, perfect. So that's a couple of tips on the content of the slides, but when it comes to delivering presentations, here's where I'm going to, reveal all my secrets. It's like the magician's code. Let's see what we can do with presentations. If I close that, okay, if I go back to the slides that we looked at the start, okay, I'm going to use presenter view here, and that's what I've been doing. So to try and make your presentations more slick, I'll run this again, but watch this. This works better when you see it happening. PowerPoint now has built-in live subtitles. So as I'm speaking, I'm just sitting back here and my voice is being converted into live text. Okay, so we've been using that all the time because we're presenting to many geographical locations whose maybe first language isn't English. And I try to speak as clear as I can, but it just gives that added bonus to it as well. In the background here, I will show you this in a second, but on my other screen, I can use a laser pointer. Okay, so I'm doing that from the other screen. I've also got the ability in the background to say, okay, let's jump to slide number 6. Okay, without having to go through them all and showing you the backstage view. I can add a pen, so I can highlight parts as I'm talking about them, like so. Zoom in. I'm doing all this on a second screen. It's always a benefit if you're delivering online presentations to have a second screen. If I switch it just to show you what I'm seeing right now. Okay, that's what I'm seeing on my other screen. So there's where I controlled those features there. I could have notes in, rather than print off my script, I could have had it here. Okay, and be reading it to you unbeknown. Like I say, this is the magician's code. I'm revealing all the secrets, not all the secrets, these are just some of the secrets. Okay, and swap it back. Okay, that's in PowerPoint. In PowerPoint Online, because all these applications have the ability to be accessed online. And why that's important is it allows us for all the collaboration in Office 365. But what I want to focus on here is still with PowerPoint. Think of a time where you've had to deliver a really important presentation, okay? Maybe it's to win a new client, win a new customer, whatever. We obviously have to practice because, it doesn't come naturally to everybody presenting, and we maybe practice in front of our colleagues so they can give us feedback on how we're delivering the presentation. When we're working at home though, we might not have somebody to practice in front of. And trust me, cats don't count. They don't have any input that's valuable. But PowerPoint can help. It's got a built-in, if I load up this same presentation through the browser this time, it's got a built-in presenter coach functionality, which gives us instant feedback on our delivery skills if we're talking too fast, or if we're talking too slow, or if we're not using proper language, if we're simply reading from the slides. So here it is. It's under slideshow. It's called Rehearse with Coach. So I'll switch it on just now. I'll just do a very brief example of it. So I'll just start rehearsing. And now it's recording everything I say. So if I was speaking too fast or too slow, it would give me prompts. If I said a word that I shouldn't say, it gives me prompts. And then once I've finished, let's just end that there, it gives me a very detailed report. I only did it for 13 seconds there, but it gives you the idea. And I've used that a lot over the last 6 months, 7 months, however long that's been around. even if you do presentations every single day of your life, it's a good insight into your delivery skills without having to, hire a person to do that. Okay, PowerPoint Coach built in there. Okay, so that's only available on the online version of PowerPoint. Okay, so it's not available on the desktop version of PowerPoint at the moment. Good, we're getting through these. Okay, next thing, I want to help you encourage the move away from the paper-based notebook by, if you've not already started using it, maybe introducing you to OneNote and showing you a really great feature that will change the way you take meetings, change the way you take notes in meetings forever. So OneNote, the way I think of OneNote, the way I got my head around trying to use it, I think of it as a filing cabinet that we have in the office. Okay, so the metal filing cabinets with the 4 drawers, I think of OneNote, the application, as being that filing cabinet. And then I can have various notebooks in the application, just like you can have various drawers in the filing cabinet. And what do you have within those metal drawers in the filing cabinet? You have those hanging files that always used to fall down and really, really upset my organization. But these are the new hanging files, these sections across here. And then within the hanging files, so within the sections, we can have pages. Okay, so you can have as many pages as you want. So that's my logic. That's the way I got to grips with using it. What really helped me as well is when I was able to switch on ruler lines, and I was like, yeah, this makes more sense. This makes more sense because I can write things within the lines. Okay, so that very simple thing of switching on the ruler lines really helped me. And it's so much more than just text. I can put in attachments, screen clippings, audio, video, put them in there. And it's searchable, okay? A paper notebook, you can't type something in the front page and it just searches it. It doesn't do that unless you're in a science fiction movie, whereas OneNote does. And where I use OneNote, and I'm not doing it just now because I'm obviously presenting, but any other meeting that I go to where I'm an attendee, I use OneNote for my notes like this. I would always have a tab called Meetings, okay? All these applications, these Microsoft applications, integrate with each other. So when I go to the Home tab, I go to Meeting Details, it links to my Outlook calendar. There's the meeting we're all in just now, okay? I would click on that. It pulls through the information from the calendar. Had there been a lot of attendees on this invite, I know we've all been invited separately, I could have just clicked to say who attended. So I take the register, roll call. Then I can take my notes. So I could say, check out the 4D process for, so whatever notes I would want to take, Outlook management. Okay. And if you're taking the notes and it's a meeting that's an action for somebody, tell OneNote that it's an action or that it's important or any of these other tags. Okay, why it's good to tag things, because I could have lots of meetings in there. Now, if I say, okay, I'm going into a meeting or I want to see all my actions, I just do this find tags and they're all brought across here. Okay, I can adjust it. And then once the meeting's finished, normally back in the day, I would have typed up the meeting notes on a Word document, and then I would want to send them out to people. So I'd attach it to an email, get the people to send it to. Now, you maybe already spotted it. I've got email page. Oops, it doesn't work. I don't know what, there we go. Okay, email page. So it's now emailing that page to everybody that attended, just like that. Okay, so that's how slick meeting notes can be taken. Okay, don't give yourself the extra work of writing it in a notebook, typing it up, attaching it to an email. I know we still like writing. I do sometimes still like writing. So I'm not saying, don't ever write stuff down, but try and think of this a better way of working using OneNote. And the fact as well, I've mentioned already, this OneNote notebook, I can access that from my phone, from a tablet, from the browser, so I can access it everywhere. You know, we've all been in the situation where we've left the office to go to a meeting and we've forgotten our notebook, but we always take our phone, don't we? It's always glued, it's like an extension to our arm. Okay, I'm just noticing a question. So I'm currently using the desktop version of OneNote, which I prefer, which is why it's like that. But there is also the Windows app, which is in here. Okay, I kept the desktop one because I liked it so much. I didn't, I'll be honest, I don't really like the Windows app version of it. So there is a site you can go to on Microsoft's web pages if you want to download this version as well. Okay, but yeah, there's choice. It's always good to have choice. Okay, so that's OneNote. Coming towards the end then, if I just minimize. So Microsoft Word, let's go into Microsoft Word. Let me open, in fact, I'm just going to start with a blank document, actually. So usually I can talk faster than I can type, yeah? How fast I can type, I guess it depends what finger I choose to use. I'm not the best typer in the world. But now, it doesn't matter. If I want to write a document, I've got dictate over here. So now everything that I say into the microphone is being converted to text. Okay, it's obviously going to be as good as clear I can speak. I can only see one mistake there. So what did I say? So everything that I say sounds the same. Say, see, say what you see and all that. Okay, and it's there. I can also do that in Outlook. Okay, I can dictate my emails. And I know there's always been third-party software that would do that, which you may have to buy. It's difficult to use. How simple was that within Word? And then the opposite side as well. If I want to do other things on my PC at the same time as read a document, how do I do that? Well, I can get the document to read back to me, read aloud. Okay, and I can choose whatever different voice. I don't know if it's going to come across here, but I can choose different voices. Okay, I can speed it up, I can slow it down, speed it up, slow it down. Different voices, you know, and they're not as robotic as they used to be. They're not quite, you know, Alexa or Siri or whatever, but they're not robotic. And if you're anything as immature as I am, and you're using this, it's only a matter of time before you see what Microsoft David sounds like saying a bad word. Okay, don't do that, don't do that. But yeah, reading aloud or translate. I've got all these translate options. So if I want to translate that to a different language, without going to Google and getting Google Translate, translate it. And I don't know if I'm imagining this, but you know, it picks up the English language. Am I imagining this, or did I see the other day that it also has? Yeah, don't know why it's got Klingon, but if you're doing any work for people at other sides of the galaxy, you can translate it to that language. But yeah, any language it picks up and it translates. I'm not going to say it's grammatically or contextually correct, but you have to ask yourself, how do you do it just now? Okay, now you can do it within Word. It's probably going to be just as accurate. Okay, translate. Okay, a question for you then. Have you ever only had the PDF version of a document and you've maybe deleted the original Word file? Okay, and you need to edit it. And you maybe ask somebody, oh, can I get Adobe Acrobat to edit it? And you know that costs as well. I've done it. I've forgotten to keep the original Word version of a document that I've converted to PDF, and sometimes I've ended up having to retype it because I didn't have the proper software. Now though, if I go in here, let's go into this one. Okay, here's a very basic document, but you know it's been properly formatted. And before I go on to the PDF thing I'm talking about, you know, hopefully everybody that knows Word and they've formatted it properly with the headings, and they want to rearrange it, hopefully everybody knows about this navigation pane. You can just, reconstruct your document as quick as that. Okay, that's how to use Word properly. Okay, I'm not going to focus on that just now. But say I'd converted that to PDF, right? Okay, so imagine I've converted it to PDF and I've deleted the original Word file. All I've got is the PDF document. I don't have software to edit it, but I need to edit it. Well, now you can. As long as that document hasn't been, password protected, remembering it's my document, I can be inside Word, go to open, browse to the file, even though it's a PDF document. Where is it? In here. PDF document, yeah. Open. Gives me a little message saying it's going to try its best. Okay, it's not going to be perfect, but it's opened it in Word, this PDF document that I can now freely edit. Okay, it's just taking a little bit of time there. Okay, edit. I can edit it. I know it's a different document, but I can edit it. Obviously, sometimes the whole reason with PDF things is to password protect it. Okay, so if that had been password protected, I couldn't edit it like that. But however, it's also good to know that that's possible. Okay, now that you know that other people can potentially do that, if you don't want them to, make sure you're protecting your PDFs. But certainly it would save me a lot of time because I've learned my lesson the hard way, so you don't have to always keep the original Word version, but now we can do it within Word. Okay, I'm leaving OneDrive until last, but let's think that I've saved that document on my OneDrive, so I can access it anywhere. OneDrive also has built-in version history. So if I had saved this document on my OneDrive, okay, and I've made a lot of changes and I decide, didn't really mean to make those changes, or I've changed my mind. And we're all in the habit of saving version 1, version 2, version 3, just in case. Now, it's not going to really work here, but if I click up here, had I saved that on my OneDrive, which I'm about to show you in a few minutes, I can retrieve all the different versions, restore them, delete them. When it's gone past too late to do undo, keeps version history. Not just for work, not just for Office documents, any files that you keep on your OneDrive. I use an application to record videos and I keep those project files on my OneDrive. And one day I saved over the top of an old one without realizing. But I had version history, so I could go back even further. So that's a real benefit of OneDrive. Okay, so let's close that down just now. So OneDrive, to finish up on, it's Microsoft's online storage area in the cloud, looked after securely by Microsoft, I can access anywhere, okay? A mobile device, smartphone, etc. So let me just get back. So I'll get to it from here. So yeah, you might be thinking, 2 seconds while I just log in. You might be thinking, yeah, OneDrive's got a lot of benefits like version history, recycle bin, I can share from a OneDrive. And most people's concerns initially are the fact that we're not used to accessing our files through the browser. Even though all the benefits that come with it, that's just a fact. And the answer to that is you don't have to. You don't have to access your documents through the browser, because I don't like working like that. I can still access my OneDrive files from here, okay, in Windows Explorer, okay, with all the familiarity of the way that I normally work, but with all the benefits of OneDrive, such as the version history, accessible anywhere, and everything like that. Okay, back into the browser version of it, just to show you that I can access version history for any file. There's pictures, 3 dots, version history. Okay, and to finish off then, If you have the OneDrive mobile app, I want to explain why that's a real benefit and give you a real example. When I was doing a training course about a year ago, I always like to ask people what their daily tasks are. And this one person said, they go out to different sites with their digital camera, and they were a site inspector and they took pictures of equipment. And then they would go back to the office, download the pictures, upload from the camera, email them out to all the people, etc. And I thought, whoa, that's far too many steps. They had just moved to Microsoft 365, so they did have OneDrive, and the OneDrive app actually has a camera built into it. Okay, so I said to him, if you just take your smartphone, take a picture of whatever you need to take a picture of, and it's instantly saved to your OneDrive, where you can share it from your OneDrive, okay? Instantly saved. And as I've been doing that, I've actually got my phone in my other hand, trying to multitask right here. And I took a picture as I was talking, and hopefully it will have uploaded. Here it is, a few seconds ago. I took that as I was talking to you. I know how to do it. I'm not going to say I'm an expert at taking pictures, but let's see how it turned out. There you go. So that's taken just a few seconds ago. And from here, I can instantly share it or whatever, okay? And you might be thinking, I would never need to take a picture of anything on my OneDrive. Other examples, if you're in a meeting, take a picture of the whiteboard and it will automatically allow you to manipulate the text, copy, paste, etc. Okay, and it recognizes the text. So the advantages of OneDrive are huge, really. Okay, so it is online, yeah. You can access it through the browser, yeah. You can still access it the way we normally do. You can still have your folders in here, and even if you're offline, because we're all working different locations now. Sometimes we don't have good internet connection. You can set it up so you can access it offline. So you can work offline, edit the documents, create new documents, and as soon as it detects an internet connection again, synchronizes seamlessly in the background. So you just have to concentrate on your work. Let the software do the hard work. Perfect. So let me go back to the slides, just coming towards the end, just to maybe sort of clarify what we covered during this session. So Outlook or Teams, both, but get to know them both, how to use them effectively, and when to use one as opposed to another. You don't have to be an Excel expert to excel in Excel. And PowerPoint, let the software help you make your presentation slicker, know the tools to make it look more professional as well. OneNote, note-taking in meetings will never be the same again. Creating documents is easy, and you can make it swear. Don't say that. OneDrive, I've just finished off. The benefits of that, hope you'll agree, are huge. And that takes me to the end of this session. There's only so much we can cram into this session. So hopefully that's given you a good insight into what's there already, what's possible. These applications shouldn't be written off as being the same as they've always been. So much more improvements coming all the time with Microsoft 365. And yeah, everybody needs a way of keeping on top of it. And that's what we can help with. I love sharing the knowledge as well. So I guess that's it for me for just now. So maybe over to Cheryl to see if there's been any questions that have been raised during this session, or if while I'm doing that, quickly check the chat. Okay, or if anybody wants to put questions in just now, let's answer some questions. Ask me a question. I love questions. Okay, so feel free to put a question in chat as I check to see if I've managed to answer them all. So there's not so many questions, more shock and amazement, I think, of what's been possible in this in these tips here. Okay. And like I say, there's so much more to it. Okay, perfect. We'll be doing more of these sessions. Let me just put up a slide here just to advertise the sessions as well and show you when the next one is. Let me just go through here. I'll get you to do this just now. What did you think of it? If you've got your phone with you, scan that barcode and it'll take you to a really short form that you can complete to say what you thought of it. We always work from feedback as well. So take a few seconds, complete it just now, or it will be emailed to you if you don't want to complete it just now. Okay, so scan that link there. Okay. See, back in the day, I would have handed feedback forms out, expected people to write the answers. Okay, that's old. That's old school. So yeah, scan and go like you're shopping. Okay, and as always, if there's anything else that we can help you out with, now you know where we are. We love hearing from you. We love being able to help. So please do feel free to get in touch. Not sure if Cheryl wants to come on and just wind up the session. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's end it there. Okay, just like to say thanks for your time. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Please feel free to connect with us there and watch this space for what we're doing next. Okay, and have a good evening. Okay, thanks for your time, everybody. Thanks for now.